Well, hello, 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 and welcome to round number two of the Elite Racing League Racing America Super Late Model Series as we get ready to go for 75 laps around the half mile New Smyrna Speedway in Florida. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Connor Sullivan along with Robert Hill Jr., our producer, and also good to have Harrison Talon joining us here for the broadcast, getting a little warm up as we head into the V season for 2022. Of course, last week got things started off at one of the great short tracks in the nation, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, where it was real world street stock racer and Connecticut native Aaron Clemens getting the victory last week. And guys, we're getting ready for another fast, high banked half mile here. We're going to be going under the lights with a typical uh, Florida summer weather here, 77 degrees. Humidity a little bit low, partly cloudy, and a very light breeze. So it should be a pretty good uh, night for racing here as the super late model field continues to build up here. Guys, you've seen racing with New Smyrna in the real world throughout the years. What do you think about this track, both as real world and in the sim?
Yeah, it's definitely a fun little track. I had the opportunity to visit back in February when I was down for the Daytona 500, and just walking that track. The banking is a lot higher than you would imagine seeing it on the sim. But these guys are gonna have a fun night here tonight as they're gonna be working their way around this track, 75 laps, like you mentioned, Connor, and lots of opportunity for action here this evening.
Yeah, to just pinpoint off what Robert said. The banking here is it's a lot more than what you see on screen. You dip a lot. You dip a couple stories. It seems like whenever you go into the corner, it feels like it's Dover whenever you get into the corner. Also, getting the throttle set down pat on the exit of the corner to get a good run off is going to be really key in setting up some passes around this track tonight.
Yep. And as for New Smyrna Speedway, actually just hosted a big super late mile race with the Southern Super Series coming to town just this past weekend. Brad May winning the race in that one. Brad May, local racer down in Central Florida. But of course, we got our own very unique field of drivers here for uh, the Elite Racing League Racing America Super Late Models. As Aaron Clemens, as we wrap up qualifying here, last week's winner, he's going to looks like lead the field to the green flag as we get set to go here.
And once again, Connor, just like last week, we'll have a quick little heat race here. I believe this one's 15 laps for the season. So definitely a nice little warm up for these guys before we get going with the big picture here.
As we get a look at the starting lineup, it'll be Aaron Clemens who will lead them to green for this 15 lap heat race, and who is outside is going to be Bryson Brinkley. And then on the inside row, I was going to say Tyler Fody inside. There we go. Tyler Fody inside row number two, and Vincent Isabella will flank him to the outside. Of course, these two, they've gone at it over the seasons here in the Elite Racing League of Josh Kosek in fifth position alongside Jay Kaner. That's row number three. Latham Joyner and Brandon Ultra in row number four. Ultra modified racer out of Pennsylvania. Jesse Rasmus, Kenan Jones. Jones, the only international driver we got in the lineup here tonight. And then it's going to be the former NASCAR Busch Series champion Jeff Green in 11th, and David Tooker to his outside in row number six. As we're going to have, looks like 18 cars ready to go in this one. Brent Jones, Josh Smith there in row seven. Blaze Brinkley, Ryan Gable, as he was also one of those drivers in contention last week, and apparently he just made it. We were talking before we got going, and he wasn't sure if he was going to make it in time, but yes, he did. Michael Goodman and Casey Hatch will round out the 9th row of this 18-car field. About what we had last week, but I'll tell you what, it was a quality fields that we had last week. Some of the best racing you'll see on iRacing, and we're really excited to be able to get going here for this one.
Absolutely, like you mentioned, last week was really exciting time here, really exciting race. So, New Smyrna should produce much of the same here this evening, and it'll be interesting to keep an eye on if Aaron Plemons can get through this heat race without issues. Last week, as we know, he had some issues, but at the end of the thing, it did not matter as he took home that victory. And it'll be exciting to see who else can really step it up and show us what they can do before we head into the big feature here tonight.
Before we get going, let's go through some of our sponsors. Of course, Powerhouse Recycling, um, TA Services, who for over 36 years have been a trusted domestic and international full-service third-party logistics provider, offering great brokerage, managed transportation, warehouse and fulfillment, and cross-border logistics around the globe. Let TA Services make ship happen for you. That's ship. Just want to be clear on that one. And also Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg Marketing Department for your small business. As we're getting ready to go green here, Plemons starting right where he left off last week on the pole position. Green is in the air as we get ready here for a quick 15-lap dash to set the lineup for 75 laps. As Plemons now clear for the lead as they go down into turn number 3 and come back to complete the first lap. Ooh, a couple of guys getting out of shape there in the back half.
Yep, tire temperatures are down at the moment. Going to build up those pressures as these couple laps get by. You'll see a lot of loose race cars as they fly through these first couple laps. But as those pressures build up, the cars will handle that much better, and we could see a lot more action in passing.
Kristen Brinkley also in the second position. Up as we got our first yellow of the night. This is kind of what happened last week as well. We had some spins in the heat race, but once we got into the feature event, things were able to kind of string out and get more organized, although it definitely didn't take away from some of the really hard and interesting racing that we had out there.
Yeah, and this one does look like it involved Jeff Green, so let's take a look at our Whiskey Cast replay, see what happened here, and see why we're under yellow. See Jeff Green there racing with David Tooker. Actually, it looked like it started up ahead with Brandon Ultra and Kynan Jones. Kynan Jones gets it to the side of Jeff Green, and Jeff Green almost goes up and over there. Looks like he landed on his wheels. He may be able to continue because these cars can take a little bit of a beating, but that's definitely not how Jeff Green wanted to start his evening here tonight. But it is the heat race, so we have a feature up next, and he can get to do it all over.
That is one of these advantages, yeah, absolutely, in this heat race. Just setting the field here, so he's unfortunately going to be out back for the start of the main, but there's another chance all after these 15 laps conclude.
Yep, and you talked about Harry, you talked about Dover earlier. Tell you what, some of the wrecks we've seen here over the years, at least from what I've seen down during the World Series in February, it's kind of like the wrecks you do see at Dover. This track, good amount of banking on the straightaways as well. Therefore, that self-cleaning track, and there's not a lot of runoff room before you get to the inside wall. Call anyone who was watching the NASCAR Wheel and Modify Tour season opener back in February. I don't know if you saw the crash between Andrew Krause and Ryan Preece with Krause. He absolutely ripped the front end of his number 24 modified off on the inside wall. And he's not the only one. Haley Deegan, Harrison Burton, two drivers that have had some fairly nasty licks coming off turn number 4 in that exact same spots. This is a track that offers great racing, but get it wrong, it will bite you, and it will bite you hard. So treat New Smyrna Speedway with respect as the pace car is going to go off. We're going to go back to green here with 12 laps to go now as Clemens getting a little bit of a challenge. You can run the outside on this track in both the real world and here on iRacing as well, as Clemens reassumes the lead. Brinkley sliding to second. Ooh, takes a little bit of a look underneath. He's still followed closely. No surprise by Tyler Fode.
Yeah, absolutely. These three guys last week were nose to tail to nose, basically all running three in a row, three in a line, all race long. And I think we might be seeing much of the same here this evening, as these guys really have a handle on these super lates.
It's going. Oh, whoa!
Oh my
Good.
goodness.
A big save. Got some help from the two. You
Yeah,
have to take a look at what happened.
yeah. Josh Kozik there just got into the back of Tyler Fode getting into the corner. It looks like he got in there a little hot, but both those drivers were able to continue on. As that's definitely not something you want to see happen that far up in the field. As
Yeah,
goes up on that really quick.
I got the feeling that racer director Chad Frankenfield is going to do a little virtual finger wagging at Tyler, at rather Cossack for that little bit of contact there. But good break for Bodie, who was able to save that car. But again, it is the heat race, so and you actually think back to last week, there were a couple of guys that had some early problems, went to the back of the field, and were able to come back up through the pack, including Aaron Clemens, who had problems in the heat race itself, started in the back, and by the time, I think even before we got to halfway, he was up at the front of the field, but he's not having problems this time around, as he leads now with less than 6 to go.
Yeah, last week Aaron had quite the race. He had a pretty miserable heat race, getting involved in an incident, and then early on he had that illegal lane change on the restart, which sent him to the back once again, and he was able to work his way back up to the front. It really just showed the skill that Aaron Clemens has, and I know, Connor, you've had the opportunity to see him race in real life, and I'm sure his skill probably translates out there as well.
Yep, he's won at the New London Warford Speedbowl. That's his home track, just down the road from his hometown of Uncasville, Connecticut, down in the southeast corner of the state. As we go back now to Cossack, who has the 45 of Vincent Isabella behind him.
Vince is hounding Cossack. He wants to get that third position. Start on the inside here for this main event. He's going to try to look for a run here off of 2. He can't do anything with it as he goes down into 3. I've seen a lot of these cars get loose off the corner. It gets so light. The car gets so light as you rise up the banking and head to the straightaway. It's insane. You feel like you have all the grip in the world when you land in the middle of the corner, but as you rise up out of it, you basically lose all of that rear grip, and you have to feather that thing off the corner to make sure you don't, number one, hit the wall, and number 2, spin out.
So we're on the last lap here of the 15-lap preliminary feature, which will set the lineup for the 75-lap A main, I guess you could say, tonight. Aaron Clemens a little bit of a twitch, but he'll take the checkered flag. So really 2 in a row so far for Clemens after the heat race problems he had last week. As we go through the top 5 here, is Tyler Fode. Yeah, I can understand that a little bit.
Yeah, Tyler Fode definitely not too pleased there with that one, but as you said, that's pretty understandable for how that one ended there. But obviously, long race ahead. We'll see if any of that incident translates over.
Yep. So getting the frustrations out right now before we get back to it. And these are the heat race results, as well as your starting lineup for tonight's races. We actually had 16 cars take the starts here. So we'll see if Blaze Brinkley and Brian Gabel are able to jump in here for the feature race itself. But anyways, it'll be Aaron Clemens, Bryson Brinkley, who will lead the field to the green flag, which is basically where we ended last week as well. And then you'll have Vincent Isabella, Josh Kosek in row 2. Tyler Fode, nice recovery, gets up into the top 5, and Brandon Ultra, another driver who's able to recover in for this one.
Yeah, it was definitely a good heat race. Another quick note that we didn't get to there when we had the yellow flag earlier: caution laps do not count in this series. So what you'll see is 75 laps of green flag racing. Definitely a lot of action that they'll take you through the field, but this is going to be an exciting race here, guys.
Yeah, I don't know. And if you've ever seen a super late model race at New Smyrna Speedway, of course, the fastest division you will see in New Smyrna throughout the season, of course, are the tour type modifieds, which uh, go for 6 out of the 9 nights there. But 7 out of the 9 nights, you've got the super late models in action. Definitely the fastest full body division out there, and they can really haul all the mail around. As got a little bit confused there. Lights were off on pace car, but pace car is staying out, so we'll go at least one more lap here. Tell you what, too, also last week is that Aaron Clemens, Bryson Brinkley, hard battling, but very respectful out there.
Absolutely, they raced pretty tight together, and obviously, they gave each other a bump here and there, but those guys raced with the utmost respect for each other, and I think we'll see that throughout this season. The quick 6-7 race series that we'll have here, but like pace car is about to pull off here, Connor.
Indeed it does. We're set to go 75 laps at New Smyrna Speedway in the Racing America Super Late Model Series. Clemens leading the charge in the turn 1, but Brinkley, we got a spin behind.
That's gonna,
That's
Boy.
Josh Kozik. We'll have to take a look and see if maybe that was a little bit of payback from Tyler Fode.
Yeah, they were lined up nose to tail on that, so we'll get a look.
Yeah, let's load up the Whiskey Cast replay here and see what happened, guys.
So already some drama in this one, as actually it was Isabella that was closest to him, and it's Isabella that turns him around. And a little contact there, a little contact from Fode. A couple of guys able to slide. Ooh, but some contact there with both the 14 and the 89.
Yeah, unfortunate for Brent Jones and Casey Hatch there, but I believe that was at a slow enough speed that they should be able to continue on with very minimal damage on those cars. And long race, still only lap 1, as it said, caution laps do not count. So basically get to re-rack them, restack them, and go again here, guys.
Yeah, I don't know, Harry, what do you think? I think that was just a mistake there from Isabella.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like a complete racing incident from my eyes. Just a lap 1 thing going into turn number 1. It's always very chaotic on the first lap, especially on the start. Just got into the back of him barely off the corner, sent him around, but everybody should be good with minimal damage. Like Robert said, they were going at a slow enough pace to hopefully that everything should be fine with their cars.
I want to remind everyone who is actually watching us live tonight, if you want to check out the Slinger Nationals from Slinger Super Speedway in Wisconsin on Racing America, if you bought the pay-per-view, no worries. You can go back to the very beginning of the race and watch it in its entirety, which is we're going to do as soon as we're done. Good thing about that is you can also rush through all the yellow flag laps as well as the halftime break that they'll have at lap 100. But one of the best short track super late mile races in all the land, Slinger Super Speedway, the world's fastest quarter mile oval. Definitely exciting times. And of course, it really got on the attention of the rest of the nation when the SRX series went there last year. Really a fantastic race between local kid Luke Fenhouse, who went at it with Tony Stewart and Marco Andretti. Marco getting the in that one though, but definitely check out the Slinger Nationals on Racing America after we're done here. And of course, I'm sure there's also some of you who are going to be watching tonight's Elite Racing League broadcast on replay here on the Elite Racing Network. But whether or not you're live or in replay, thank you for joining us as we're back under green here on lap number 7 as Clemens quick to wrestle the lead away. But here comes Brandon Ultra trying to make some headway. He gets up to the 4th position. Ultra, he had a rough race last week, but it's another real-world racer who's shown his stuff tonight.
Absolutely. It's been a nice job by Brandon Ultra in that 19 machine. Really shown his pace and his patience throughout this last week's race and the start of this one, including the heat race. And I'm excited to see him work his way through the field here, as I definitely think his experience will come into play a little bit later on, especially at a nice track like New Smyrna Speedway, which allows them the opportunity to get those high speeds going, work the banking, and really kind of make a nice run at it.
You see a little bit of movement there in the middle of the top 10 as Clemens slipping his lead out a little bit as we go back now to the battle for the 5th position. Latham Joyner putting the pressure on Tyler Fody, who has basically held stations since the start of the race after that incident in the heat race.
Yeah, Fody is he's just keeping his car in one piece at the moment. I think he's just riding, saving his stuff. As we have a yellow on track.
This will be yellow flag number 2 of our 75 lap New Smyrna Short Track Challenge event.
Guys, it's looking like Josh Kozik once again has gone around. Take a look here on the Whiskey Cast replay, see what happened. Fortunate start to this one for Josh, as you know, he was definitely a really strong entry coming into this.
Let's see. He was, of course, trying to come back up through the field. Oh, Michael Goodman.
Ooh.
Oh,
Man.
Michael Goodman. A very late dive there. Again, nothing intentional. Just a big mistake there from old Goody out there. What do you think, Harry?
Yep, just a really late dive there on the brakes. Saw a hole open up there at the last moment, decided to go for it, but it was going to get closed up anyway. Kosek didn't see Michael coming from behind. And yeah, that 2 cars, he's been beaten banged a lot these first 15 laps. It's they're going to have to buff out those fenders a little bit more.
Yeah, the one thing I'm going to say is those Do Good Motorsports guys are definitely not on his Christmas card list this year, with Vincent Isabella getting into him for that first incident, and then his teammate Michael Goodman with this one. Josh is not going to be too pleased as he's going to walk by that hauler later on tonight.
So it's still Aaron Clemens out in front as he's been perfect here. We now have 15 laps complete. I think we got to consult with race control. I know, Robert, you were saying that caution laps are not counting, but they do appear to be counting on the scoring chart.
Yeah, so I believe that's an issue with SDK software that we use that counts it, but then once they go green again, it should revert back to about lap 13. The ticker up there. It's unfortunate that we can't work that into the software, but eventually we'll get one of those updates.
10-4 on that says, I believe one thing we can see though is that the lights on the pace car are off. We're doubling up and we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing as the Vincent Isabella lining up in the 3rd position, and he will have Brandon Ultra to his outside. Ultra was able to make some ground on that last restart. Let's see if he can do it here on restart number 2 of the night. So we'll wait here. Pace car will make the hard left turn. Indeed it does. We're back onto green. Oh, Ultra a little bit too close to Brinkley on the restart, so he has to get out of the gas. And here comes Isabella down to the outside as Ultra really slips up. He's going to slide all the way to the back of the field. A bad break in this particular restart for Brandon Ultra, the modified driver out of Pennsylvania.
Oh!
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That's unfortunate.
And Josh Kosick unfortunately gets a piece of that one. Here is Ultra. He was all kinds of out of shape on that exchange there.
Yeah, that was definitely unfortunate. Brandon Ultra there. Just he got off to a really poor start. I don't know if his tires are getting a little bit worn out, so he's getting the tire spin there. But another incident, another Josh Kosick involvement there. Fortunate for him, as we'll actually watch this from Josh's view. Sees Brandon Ultra on the outside. Really nothing Josh could have done there. That incident, just definitely unfortunate for the both of them, as Brandon will spin and like no harm, no foul, really, as Josh will rejoin the field, or Brandon will rejoin the field. Sorry, and going again.
To quote Connecticut racing announcer Matt Buckler, they came together like two cymbals in an orchestra.
I like that one.
Yep. Oh, plenty of good announcers up here in New England, especially Southern New England. So I'll tell you what, though. But in any case, hey, we got some Connecticut flavor again up at the front of the field as Clemens continues to lead the way here. As it looks like lights are still on, although they're going to double up here as we get ready to go back to green flag racing.
It looks like race control shortened the yellow flag length here. Wasn't really much cleanup. Nobody really had to go to pit road there, so we'll be going green once again here in just a moment.
Few heat cycles in on these tires as well. They're gonna have to be we're working in those tires right now. You can see fourth place right there as we head back to racing.
Joyner being promoted to fourth position. Back under green. Again, Clemens leading him into turn one. He'll clear Brinkley. And again, Vincent Isabella trying to mount a challenge here, but he's going to have Joyner mounting a challenge of his own on the outside. Haven't really seen the outside line come into play offensively yet, but Joyner's making a good time of it.
As the run goes on, these tires wear out a little bit. Get some green flag racing here. Oh,
a little bit of contact there.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit of contact.
Yeah, nice little hip check there from Vincent Isabella. Joyner now goes to the inside.
Oh!
To retaliate.
Guys, I think we can add the word payback to that one.
Yep, definitely had some intent right there.
Absolutely. Harry, you and myself know quite well racing with Vincent quite often. He can get aggressive out there, but typically he races you with respect. I think that incident may have been a bit of a mistake on his side, but Latham Joyner definitely didn't want much of that, as we'll load up the Whiskey Cast replay here and take a look and see what happened.
Yeah, we'll have to see if there's any consultation from race control on this one. But Joyner, he sends it down and he drifts up. No doubt about it. There was it was definitely the contact that spent Isabella spinning, but whether or not there was intent or not is the bigger question. It kind of looked like from the overhead view, guys, that he might have just overdrove the corner.
We'll actually see if we can load that up from his in-car and see if we could see any steering input. Might show us some intent on this one. Of course, it gets dark in that corner. He's turning left the whole time. I think he might have just overcooked the corner.
Yeah, I think he just was not happy about being behind, and I'm sure he wasn't happy about the contact from before, but I think that was just more a racing mistake rather than retaliation on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Vincent won't be too pleased about that, but once he gets a chance to take a look at the replay there, I think he'll see that was fortunately just a racing incident, and Latham just drove it in there a little too hot, as we're going green once again.
Indeed, and Joyner, he'll be able to keep that third position. He'll be able to go right back after him here. So racing incidents, we race on here as we're past the 1/3 mark here at the historic New Smyrna Speedway. As Clemens, he'll reassume the lead as Fody looked to the outside there of Latham Joyner for just a second there, but he'll slide back into line. As Joyner, he's giving Brinkley the evil eye right now.
Yeah, Latham Joyner having a really strong run here through the section of the race. Definitely got 4 spots from the start. He worked his way through. Obviously, he had that incident with Vincent there just moments ago, but he's not letting that get to him and charging forward. He's going to make a run here at Bryson any moment.
Jake Kaner, by the way, up into the top 5 right now, and he's closing the gap a little bit on Tyler Fody as we now take a look back there. Like that black and green paint job there, like the green interior. Jake Kaner, another one of the Pennsylvania drivers that we got in the field. And of course, series founder Chad Frankenfield from the Quaker State himself. So probably not too big a surprise here as we have completed 32 of the 75 laps here at the new Smyrna Speedway in round number 2 of the Racing America Super Late Model Series, presented by the Elite Racing League tonight. As Kaner, he's got the inside line under Tyler Fody. Gonna pull it even here, but Fody has the momentum off the corner, and he's going to remain clear in the 4th position.
Yeah, just a little slip up out of 4 there from Tyler Fody, but he was able to get away with it with a really good run out of turn 2. Yeah, Jay Kaner's not going to back down, though. He's going to make another run at him.
Absolutely. Yep. Jay's charging hard here through this one. And just behind them is Jesse Rasmus. He's up 8 spots from the start of this thing. So Jesse's silently having a really strong race, and he's going to be pushing for a top 5 spot here very shortly.
So Fody, still a little bit of pressure, but off on corner exit, gone. As Rasmus continues to hound the back of Kaner.
Another Pennsylvania boy for you, Connor.
Yep, indeed. So definitely Quaker State packed field in this one, and it's one of the good old boys from the Constitution states that's leading Frontier. Aaron Plenz trying to go for the clean sweep here in the first 2 races of the season, as he has lengthened his leads to, say, it's probably about 20 car lengths there. As we'll take a look at the timing here, over a second lead over Bryson Brinkley.
Yeah, Aaron's really doing a really solid job last week. Obviously took home the victory, and Harry, for your first super late model race with us, Aaron's putting on a show for you.
Yeah, he's whooping the field right now. But we got a ton of racing left. You don't want to turn away from your screens. We got a ton of laps to go here. Anything can happen, but Aaron's definitely putting on a masterclass at the moment.
Yep. So Clemens has checked out well ahead of the fields, but we've got a battle for second still on, as Bryson Brinkley, the Carolina drivers in the field tonight. He has plenty of company here from Lathan Joyner.
You guys putting on a show here for second and third place positions, and Lathan Joyner continues his strong run through the run, and I think he's not too content third. He wants that second place spot, and he wants to be able to make a run at Aaron Clemens here.
If so, these guys continuing to log laps here. It's probably about the longest green flag run that we've had so far, as we've had 3 yellow flags here. As we go back now to the battle for 4th position, is Tyler Fody still being hounded by Jay Kaner. Fody, I guess you could say this is a home race for him. One of the scenes out of the state of Florida.
Ooh. Oh, that camera view right there.
Always love the bumper cam here, as Kaner really giving him the business on as we continue to go around here, as we come up on 30 laps to go. Now switching to Jay Kaner's front bumper cam here, but again, Fody putting a little bit of a gap here, but still less than a car length. But tell you what, Kaner's got the edge on corner entry, but Fody, I was going to say on corner exits, but Kaner really being able to stick with him this time. Looks like as the laps go on, the handling is swinging the way of Jay Kaner.
One thing I'm really noticing as these guys go around is Look at those brake rotors on these things. They are red hot.
Let's see here. Bottom shot move into turn number 3. Kaner with a nice entry that time. Bodie coming back with the momentum on the outsides, but again, Kaner, gonna give him a bit of a hip check there as Fody almost up into the wall. Can't quite.
Kaner's not giving up here.
No, he is not. Again, this is battle for the 4th position as they cross the line here. It's still Fody with the position here as we're now working lap number 49.
And they're inviting Jesse Rasmus into the party with these battles right here, staying side by side this long. Rasmus is closing right up on the back bumper here of Jay Kaner.
Yeah, Jesse's got one of the best seats in the house right now watching these guys battle. Actually, we'll ride on board here with Jesse momentarily as these guys continue to battle side by side.
Rasmus, he is right there with them.
Jesse takes a look on the inside now of Fody.
Yep, trying to follow past Tyler Fody, who's now trapped on the outside, not being able to make the hay up there as we close on the final third of this one here in this 75-lap New Smyrna Short Track Challenge.
You can see Jay, as he gets a little loose out of turn 4. You can see Jay Kaner as he goes into the corner. He tries to move Fody up a little bit off of the preferred groove that he really wants to be, so that Jay doesn't get stuck pinned down on the bottom too much. That way Jay could still get a good run off of the corner himself, just like Fody on his outside.
Kaner really throwing it hard into turn 1 that time, but again, he's unable to shake Tyler Fody, who is...
Ooh, what a save!
Oh my goodness gracious.
What a save by Josh Smith as Jeff Green goes around.
And Smith noses into the inside wall he hit at a ton.
That actually started with contact by Josh Kozik. Josh continues his rough evening. He's back in the top 10, so he's looking pretty at this point. But let's load up the Whiskey Cast replay and see what finished this thing off. Actually, we're going to rewind that just a little bit further. See that initial contact with Josh Kozik here. Josh heads into the corner. Little bit of contact with Josh. Great save by Josh Smith. Josh still trying to catch it. Unfortunately, Jeff Green gets the unlucky end of the stick there as they both head into the inside wall. And looks like they'll both be able to continue on, but definitely fortunate there. And I don't know how happy Josh Smith is going to be at this point.
Yeah, it's so hard to catch these cars after they get sideways even a little bit, because the rears they heat up so fast even with the slightest bit of turn. And his tires were just completely lit up still as he exited the corner, still trying to catch it, and unfortunately it caught up Jeff Green with him there as well.
Yep, so now we'll have 20 laps to go. Clemens trying to cool his tires off in the grass, I guess. I think we saw a little bit. Actually, I was going to say last week, but we've seen it in a couple other leagues as we take a look at the top 5 running order. Now, Jesse Rasmus in the top 6, and Josh Kozik being able to move back into the 7th position is David Tooker. He's been able to stay away from some of the trouble that's been out there, as actually Kozik's going to hit pit road here, probably to get some of the damage that he's incurred throughout the race looked at. Although I thought we were lining up to go back to green, but
whoa!
What in the world? And now we've got
my gosh.
What in the world? Well, we'll take a look here. It all starts with the 45.
If you take a look here, Josh Kozik's coming off pit road here on the bottom. Vincent Isabella right there. He just takes him out.
That was straight out of Days of Thunder, boys.
And actually, he gets both of those do-good cars, so double payback for the earlier incidents. But
I'd like to take a look at his onboard. I want to see, did his wheel shut off? because that was a dead right turn.
Let's go to Kosix.
Take a look at
Let's
his
see.
onboard here.
He turned. Oh, that was retaliation, guys.
He turned right
Oh.
into that, guys, and knowing race control, Chad Frankenfield, that'll probably be the end of Josh Kosek here tonight, and potentially for the foreseeable future, as we are back under green.
Wow, so a little Days of Thunder action under that last yellow flag, to say the least. But I'll tell you what now, Bryson Brinkley now making his presence known to Aaron Clemens, who has led all the laps so far, but he is definitely not out of the woods as we begin to enter the final stages.
What a wild night. Is it a full moon night here at New Smyrna? I mean, we've had a ton of contact, and just whatever just happened there off of pit road. We assume it is retaliation from the earlier incidents, but we have a battle for the lead. Clemens isn't pulling away as fast as I initially thought he would from Brinkley.
As Brinkley saved his stuff, it's a good possibility at this point, but Clemens is going to pull out to about 2 or 3 car lengths there, as the number 3 Joyner wants to join this battle for the front spot.
Absolutely, and Latham Joyner really needed an incident like this to give him that opportunity to get back into this thing, and he's there and hoping to take advantage as Bryson Brinkley takes a peek on the inside there of Aaron Clemens.
He is right there with him, and Brinkley, he is making Clemens going to make Clemens sweat these last couple of laps, as he was down almost onto the apron in turn 3 that last time. Got to be careful though with that transition from this 18 degrees of banking.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one little slip up, and that'll get the car completely out of shape, and your corner exit will be ruined. And the cars behind you, they're driving so close together because we were just off of a restart. But they're going to take full advantage of you and of you making that mistake and just go right by you. You will lose a ton of spots from that.
65 laps in the books, 10 to go here at New Smyrna Speedway, as they run down the back straightaway. Once again, Clemens able to keep Bryson Brinkley at arm's length, but for how much longer can he, as we're now down to the final 9.
What a race this has been so far, and of course it's coming down to another late restart with these guys getting the opportunity to close back up and make a run at each other. But Aaron Clemens continues to show his strength in these late models, and wow, he's certainly put on a show this evening. Bryson Brinkley as well, he's been up there all night long. Latham Joyner as well, he's fought through some adversity, but he's found his way up to the top 3. And Jay Kaner behind him as well, he's had such a great run. And Tyler Fode rounding out the top 5 so far, as Jesse Rasmus is looking to make a run on Tyler Fode here for 5th.
Making his presence known to Fode.
Back up to the front, jeez. Aaron Clemens pulling away a little bit.
Yep, but he's not able to get the runaway move that we've seen earlier. But now, take that back here as we now come down to the high 5 laps to go.
Real question here is, do we make it to the end under green, or do we get another late race yellow? It gives these guys one more shot to come at each other with 4 laps to go in this one here at New Smyrna Speedway. What a night it's been, and what a last 4 laps this is about to be.
Oh, well, there it is.
There's the yellow. I must have jinxed it, as it does look like Brent Jones, Jeff Green, and Brandon Ultra were involved in this one. As
there
wow,
it is. Big wreck.
There's the wreck.
Yep, so trouble off turn 4 for those 3 drivers.
Take a look on the Whiskey Cast replay here, see what happens. Taking a look at Jeff Green, just looks like he got it a little bit hot there. Got on the throttle a little bit early before Brandon Ultra got into left rear quarter, sent him around. really light contact for all three of them. Just unfortunate that they all stopped on track and brought out the yellow, but everyone will get a chance to re-rack it, restack it, and go once again here.
Yep, it just looks like green was just kind of getting to the point where you're running out of laps. You're trying to force things to happen, but as we get down to it, the story is this. Aaron Plemons trying to go for 2 wins in a row to start off the Racing America Super Late Model Series in the Elite Racing League here, this 6-race series. But Bryson Brinkley trying to go one spot better than he did a week ago. And we are going to get ready for...
Show that Jeff Green had an incident there. Just looked like he might have stopped to fix up his wheel, but mentioned we're about to go here again in a moment. We'll have a nice quick run to the finish.
Well, we are getting ready for the 3 most exciting words in motorsports: green, white, checkered. At least once we are able to go 2 by 2 by 2 once again. Here is, I think we'll see will we see the lights off this time around? Yes. No, we're not. We're gonna go. I don't know. I think they're trying to make Aaron Plemons sweat a little bit more. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, I definitely think so. He's wiping his brow for sure. He's hoping they can just get going. Jeff Green continues to be stopped there on the back straightaway, just sitting there waiting for an opportunity to merge back on. I think that may have delayed the green, but you guys will get going once again, and hopefully we can have a nice clean run to the finish. But you know, we started 18 here this evening. We have 10 left on the lead lap, so should be a nice run to the finish. Look, and the lights do appear to be off on the pace car. We're gonna go green here in a moment, guys.
As Aaron Plemons, I almost said Brandon Plemons, Brandon his dad. Aaron Plemons selecting the outside line, something we have not seen throughout this entire race. Going to be very interesting to see what happens here. But it's going to be 2 laps to decide who brings home the bacon at New Smyrna Speedway. Round 2 of the Racing America Super Late Models under green. Here as Plemons, he gets the edge into turn 1 as...
Oh no!
No!
Oh no!
A shot from Joyner hits Brickley into Plemons.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe what I just saw.
Oh no, guys, that's really unfortunate for Aaron Plemons. Let's take a look here on the Whiskey Cast replay, see what happened, but that's so devastating for Aaron Plemons. Yeah, as you see, it actually looks like Fody gave Latham Joyner a shot. Could that be a little bit of payback from earlier in this race, guys?
I don't know. I think it was just a racing situation. If we can back up the Whiskey Cast replay just a little bit more here. You know, let's see. Let's go back here.
Looked like the slightest tap just sent him.
It was like a Newton's cradle out there. Just that transfer of energy. These cars all bunched up on the restarts. What an absolutely devastating
Taking
break.
a look from Aaron Plemons, he's just along for the ride.
Wow.
Gotta imagine he's slamming his fist on that steering wheel.
He hits at a ton up in turn number 2. Just total victim of circumstance. But boy, oh boy, it definitely is going to blow the points race wide open in this one.
Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate, but after that incident there, we'll just take a quick run through the field, as I don't believe we are one yet. We'll just take a quick look through the top 10, see running where, and if your driver is still got a shot at this, as Bryson Brinkley from Carolina currently holds the lead over Latham Joyner, the driver from the south. Tyler Fody rounding out the podium currently. Tyler Fody from Florida. Jesse Rasmus continues his climb through the field, up 10 spots. David Tooker there in 5th, the Californian. Jay Kaner in 6th. Tynan Jones, Mr. Long Haul himself, the Aussie, P7. Michael Goodman in 8th. Josh Smith in 9th. Brandon Ultra, 10th position. Do prepare for the restart here shortly.
And Clement's not even going to make, as we're going to go, looks like one more lap. Not sure if Clement's going to be able to make it back out there for this one. But, man, all of a sudden, Bryson Brinkley with a real shot of winning this race.
Yeah, Bryson Brinkley was really in the picture all night long. You know, we saw him running really strong. Second place car most of the night, but that's for Aaron Plemons, that's devastating for sure. But this is a big opportunity for Bryson Brinkley and really everyone up here in this top 5, top 6, is they all have an opportunity if one person makes a slip up, as the green flag is out and we're underway with 2 laps to go.
No challenge to Brinkley on that. Restarts here on take number 2. The bell is going to be for second, as Joyner is actually going to clear Tyler Fode here, as they will come back here for the white flag at New Smyrna Speedway. Final circuit around, just less than a half mile to go. Joyner trying to make one final challenge, but I don't think it's going to be enough. It's just going to require one more clean corner from Bryson Brinkley. A little bit of a twitch, but it doesn't matter. Bryson Brinkley taking the checkered flag in the Racing America Super Late Model Series at the New Smyrna Speedway on what was just an absolutely head scratcher of a finish on here. After an aborted green-white checker attempt, saw race dominator Aaron Plemons taken out just purely as a victim of circumstance in this one.
Yeah, that was definitely disappointing for Aaron Plemons. Like I mentioned here, you know, yeah, he was having such a great run here this evening, and fortunately, one little incident, and that's the end of his night.
Well, we'll take a look at the results here. Again, Latham Jr., your winner. So,
That once again, same as last week. See if we could pull this up.
So,
eventually we'll get there, guys. Somebody did win.
Latham Jr., Tyler Fode, David Tooker, Kenan Jones, Josh Smith, your top 5. It looks like it's going to stick with us this time.
Don't.
Oh, good.
That's still not showing correctly.
Oh, actually, no, wait. This is from the warm-ups earlier.
I believe Joyner finished second. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we'll just have to. Bryson Brinkley, the winner this evening. Latham Joyner in second. Tyler Fode in third. David Tooker, nice job quietly getting his way up there to Tynan Jones in 5th. Josh Smith 6th. Michael Goodman 7th. Jay Kaner 8th. Jesse Rasmussen 9th. Brandon Ultra 10th. Brent Jones making a one-off appearance in the Super Late Models 11th. Jeff Green 12th. Aaron Plemons, unfortunate, devastating incident for him. He'll round out the night P13. Vincent Isabella 14th. Josh Cossack 15th. Casey Hatch 16th. And Ryan Gavel in 17th will round out the field here this evening as we wait to see if we do have any interviews. It does not look like we have any interviews here this evening. Looks like everyone having a little bit of frustration.
I think everybody's gone to watch the Slinger Nationals right now, as I think you should too. That's what I'm going to do. I'll actually pick it up from the beginning of the race as they're well underway at Slinger Super Speedway out in Wisconsin. So that's going on over on Racing America right now. And we've got plenty of races coming up on Racing America throughout the rest of the week and into the weekend. I myself, I'll be heading up to White Mountain Motorsports Park this Friday and Saturday night for the Pro All-Star Series Super Late Models. They'll have a doubleheader this weekend. So they're making up a May rainout on Friday nights, and then they'll be back at it for Saturday night So again, they'll be 150 laps. We'll also have past modifieds and the New England Super Modified Series on Friday night as well.
Oh,
And as for Friday night, we'll have the White Mountain divisions in action.
it does actually look like we have a couple guys ready to join us here for some post-race interviews, guys. If want to have a chat here with Tyler Fody and Latham Joyner, can bring them up into the booth. Well, Tyler Fody, tonight's third place here. Why don't you take this interview away, Connor?
Tyler Fody getting back onto the podium on what was a bit of a crash bang affair out there tonight.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think we're second actually for the DQ with the lane change.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know if that came through for y'all, but
did not.
I think it was Brinkley, whoever the leader was, changed lanes on the restart there. So.
Wow.
Oh wow! So that was not a scoring malfunction. So it's actually Latham Joyner who's our winner here. So Tyler Fody filling us in there, but man, one of those races out there, just all kinds of twists and turns there on not one but two green white checker restarts.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. You got all these official regular guys coming in here and mowing people down, coming up through the field. So that's what it's going to turn into there at the end. Just had to survive, really. And yeah, glad to be on the good side of that and getting another podium.
Well, it's got to be good to finish well at what is a home state track for you.
Yeah, that was cool too. I mean, I just bought it before we got on. I hadn't turned a lap yet, but it's a pretty neat little track.
Well, Milwaukee coming up next week. What's the feeling heading up there?
Avoid this group of guys that we seem to have every week that just runs everyone over, and then hopefully try and get back up here and talking to y'all again.
Anyone you'd like to thank for your runner-up tonight?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be in the Do Good chat with Vince and Jeff Green and Goodman there, Brent Jones as well. So it was pretty fun talking with them, getting to race with them again. Also, shout out to y'all for doing the broadcast. I love seeing Harry up here. Hopefully he does some more in the future. So,
well, we'll have him on for the truck races this season.
Oh, there you go.
I do want to get one question in here, actually, Tyler.
Oh boy.
You know, we saw a lot of contact with the Duke cars today with Kosek, Josh Kosek, the 2-car, and we're wondering what really happened there to cause basically all those incidents with you guys. I know it started out with you and him in the heat, and then it transpired to Vince, and then Goodman as well, and then whatever happened off pit road there. Any insight, any form of chatter from about that, about what happened there tonight with him?
Yeah, I don't know if y'all have access to the voice chat, but just a lot of chirping going back and forth and some things boiling over from last week. And yeah, I mean, I just got straight ran through in the heat. Fortunately, the elite regulars like Vince and that know what's what and put him back in his place there. And then it just continued, really. And I guess he ended up getting parked and wanted to take it out one more time. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes going forward here, but happy to be on the side with the regulars.
Well, definitely a big thanks for all the clarification out there, Tyler. Nice run for you out there. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, appreciate it.
My goodness. So the drama continuing even after the checkered flag has taken place in this one as a lane change violation, demoting Blaze Brinkley from the win to dead last here. And that has moved Latham Joyner to the top of the official results. And he is your official winner for tonight's New Smyrna Short Track Challenge. Do we have him in the booth?
Yes,
We
sir,
do.
you do.
All right, Latham Joyner, congratulations on the victory. Somewhat unexpected, I guess, though.
Yeah, I definitely was not the fastest car out there. Probably a good solid P3, maybe P4 if the tires fell off there at the end.
It I said felt like Days of Thunder out there tonight. What's your feeling?
Yeah, definitely a wild race. Got whatever happened in the heat race. I don't even remember. Something with Vincent, per usual. And then drove from seventh back up to third, and then kind of just rode there. And Clemens pulled me and Bryson by 3 seconds, I think. And then I had 3 seconds on the cars out back, and we're hoping just to ride there and kind of just get the race done and whatever. And then had the restart, got pounded by the 40 on that, I guess that green white checkered one, and ended up collecting Clemens, who basically dominated the entire race, which I didn't even want to do that, but just got plowed into it.
Well, now here you are. You got a win under your belt heading to Milwaukee. Feel like you got some confidence that you could possibly go after this title race now.
Yeah, I probably could. I'm pretty decent in Milwaukee. It's kind of one of them funky tracks for the super late model, and I'm normally good at not normal super late model racetracks. I know I beat Clemens there, who dominated tonight before an official, but of course, a longer race, it means a different type of race. So,
All right. Guess the last one is to roll the credits, unless you guys have any questions yourselves.
Yeah, Latham, how are you feeling when it was announced that you picked up the victory here? Obviously, a bit of a surprise. We thought there was a little bit of a glitch in the results because we didn't know that there was a disqualification, but that kind of come as a surprise to you. And how are you feeling? Obviously, as soon as you found out that you were tonight's winner.
yeah, I know who that is that was leading and got kind of DQ'd of it. I also know who that is that got wrecked out of the lead. I think it just kind of slipped his memory because all that stuff happened on the restart before, and I don't think he expected to be, leading after that. So it kind of just slipped his mind. Not a big fan of that rule. Also, not a big fan of being sent to the back. I think whenever I accidentally wrecked that dude earlier in the race, I should have got sent to the back. But the rules are the rules, and that's just how the cards play in some leagues.
Thank you so much for joining us up here in the booth, Latham, and congratulations on your victory. And we'll see you next week in Milwaukee.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, definitely a lot to digest from this one. Not just from the whole race, but really just those last couple of laps. Guys, your final thoughts.
Yeah, that was a pretty wild race. Obviously, domination by Aaron Clemens ends in an unfortunate incident there. Really sorry to see that happen to him, and obviously, like you mentioned, post race drama as well with disqualification for Bryson Brinkley and Latham Joyner taking the victory, and then obviously you could hear it in those post race interviews. Fody and Joyner are not too happy. So those are some storylines to follow next week in Milwaukee. And Harrison, how did you like your first super late model race? Obviously, that was pretty dramatic for you.
Yeah, dramatic to say the least. Yeah, everybody here, they put on quite a show for everybody watching. I'm sure those drivers driving weren't having the funnest of times out there, as we definitely heard in those interviews. A lot of angry drivers tonight, and I probably assume the whole field is angry going home from this race. A crazy night, full moon. I think I mentioned at the middle of the broadcast. I definitely, I'm definitely rolling with that theory.
Yeah, I think we do have a full moon for real, but thing I actually slipped my mind was that we've actually got an off week next week before the series does head to Milwaukee, so perhaps that's for the best.
Absolutely, give these guys a chance to cool down as we're about to do as we head off to watch the Slinger Nationals. Connor, any final words here to send this one home?
Well, definitely a wild one. Looking forward to Milwaukee. We're going to have plenty of drafting, bumper tagging on the straightaways there. It's going to be a good old time at the Milwaukee Mile in 2 weeks' time. But in the meantime, though, we'll give a big shout out to our sponsors, Powerhouse Recycling, Blue Egg Marketing, and TA Services for being our presenting sponsors. And, of course, Racing America for stepping up to sponsor the Elite Racing League Super Late Model Series. And, of course, yeah, head on over to Racing America if you're watching live, or watch the Slinger Nationals right now. Or if you're doing the reverse, you watch the Slinger Nationals and you're watching us on replay. Thank you for joining in on all the action tonight. Again, head over to racingamerica.com and racingamerica.tv. You'll have all the news stories from throughout the week and also a schedule of what's coming up on Racing America this weekend. Again, I'll be heading up to White Mountain for pass racing this weekend. Really looking forward to all that. So, congratulations to all of tonight's front runners for Harrison Talon, Robert Hill. I'm Connor Sullivan saying good night from New